Well, Barry, how you doing today?
Doing good. I'm doing good. How we doing?
I'm hanging. Summer is here. The sun is beaming. Why don't you tell the folks at home what movie are we doing today?
All right. So we are doing Mad Max Fury Road, the 2015 certified classic. I don't know if it's a millennial classic.
Ooh.
And Swardick's going to be the guy to explain to us because, guys, this is a Swardick Mayanja pick. All right. Far and few between, but this is a Swardick Mayanja pick. All right. So, Swardick, why don't you tell us why this movie is a millennial classic?
This movie is a millennial classic in a lot of ways. Number one being it's a summer blockbuster. It's a summer banker, right? The reason I said that it's summertime and the sun is beaming down right now is because you get into that mood where you want to go outside and enjoy the heat, enjoy the warmth. And this movie takes that to a post-apocalyptic, dystopian, insane version of that, right? It is a good time all around. From the start of the movie to the finish of the end of the movie, you feel like you're experiencing the chase that is Mad Max Fury Road. That, ladies and gentlemen, is why it's a millennial classic. Maburi, before you watched this movie, is there anything you remembered specifically about this movie?
So this movie, because I've watched it a bunch, this is a very highly rated movie from this decade. And it's one of those movies that gets more rated the further we get away from it. But the reason this movie is so well liked is it's like a roller coaster. It never stops. You keep going. And it's one of those things where it's like the twist is so simple.
Exactly.
It's so simple. Once it hits you, it's like it's so obvious.
Yeah,
and
it's beautiful.
And it goes as deep as you want it to go. Like
exactly.
You can just be like, oh, it's just these guys are running away from these guys and then they decide to go back. But it can also be like your home is where you started. You know,
That's right.
You can go as deep as you want. This movie is just, it's amazing. It looks amazing. That's the other thing. In this age of, I out here watching Ant-Man Quantumania, and it looks like everything was filmed on green screen in a tub of just green. And you just know, like, the actors were just like talking to tennis balls the entire movie. And this movie, they went to Namibia, they fucking literally were hired Cirque du Soleil guys to fly across from car to car. They blew shit up and they just did it all in the desert. And you're like, this movie's going to look amazing forever. The same way Jurassic Park, they built those fucking animatronic dinosaurs in 93 and it still looks good.
I love that. It sounds to me, Mumbury, like you rewatched this prior to us doing this now. When was the last time you saw it?
I own the Blu-ray. So I
You're
watched
amazing.
it like a couple months ago.
You're insane. You're insane.
But it's one of the things where it's like, this movie is just, it looks amazing. It feels like a thrill ride.
Yeah, no, I agree with you with all of it, especially the look of it, especially the look. Prior to watching this movie, I just remember it being like this orange hue, right? Just like, that's like the memory. You say Mad Max and that's all you think. You think the desert, right? More so specifically about that movie, just that dude on the guitar. That's like the first thing that pops into my mind every time I think about Mad Max.
I like it. I have a question because I was thinking about this while I was watching this. If you had to pick one movie that you thought closely aligned with the vibe that this movie gives off, like everything you just said, like the relentlessness, the kinetic.
I mean, I know the answer right now.
What is it?
It's Fast X. I just saw it this past weekend.
No. That's the exact opposite. That's the exact. The energy goes up, it goes down, it flips to 50 different people. That's the exact opposite. If I honestly, for me, it's a movie that came out around the same time. John Wick.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you're talking about a vibe. You're talking about the vibe of the movie. No, 100%. Yeah. Oh, no, 100%. Yeah. We haven't done John Wick, right?
No, we haven't. And it's going to come up a bunch during this because the way that these movies kind of world build and then keep it moving and don't explain shit. You just, like they just whip out coins and you get guns and all this shit. And this movie's the same way. There's blood boys.
Yeah, it's an entire world.
Breeders. And they don't explain anything. You know how some adventure movies, they like whip out a map and they put it like on a car and they're like, we're here and we have to go here. Like every movie does that. Like I just watched Puss in Boots and Puss in Boots, like very clearly has a map on screen and it shows you where you're going. A lot of adventure movies have that just to give the viewer an idea of where you are. This movie says, fuck that. We're going to rent a helicopter. You're going to see these guys leaving the Citadel, these guys going to Cast Town, those guys coming from, and then it's just like, and you just get a sense of where everything is. You always get a sense of the location, and you never have to wonder.
Except for one time, but we will get to it. But first and foremost, most importantly, God damn it, Mumbury, I miss doing this with you. I never even once in my head thought about the vibe of the movie being like John Wick, but the second you said it, I was like, well, of course it is. It's action from the beginning to the end. It's an adrenaline rush. It's an experience. It's a millennial classic, boys. It's the millennial classic.
I am the man who grabs the sun, riding to Valhalla! Winners! I live, I die, I live again!